Salam everyone, pleasure to be with you again. Comrade Derek, Comrade Brito, Comrade Montana, Comrade George, Comrade Erics, Senior Comrade Don Juan Obi, Comrade Jag, Comrade Erics again, Jesse Brown, hello, salam, Comrade Colin, Comrade Derek, 14 Jim, Comrade Jared. I'm honored to have your honor. Thank you so much. This is going to be a short one for two reasons. We don't need to belabor the subject. It is only for the reasons and purpose of Southern Cameroons. If not, the people in question, in my opinion, are immaterial people in this particular context. Second reason is that we don't have electricity on ground zero, precisely Bamenda, so I'm down on battery. And thirdly, I'm surprised that the internet has allowed me to be able to connect this much. So please just as you join, if you could, you may share. Your camera is vertical. You want me to put it horizontal? I don't know. Let me see. Do you want it this way? I think we're good this way. I think the camera is better. Sorry, just bear. Right. Just confirm, is the audio okay? Is the sound okay and the video? Do we have good quality in sound and audio? In sound and video, please. Hello, Olivia. Hello, Loveline. Hello, John. Hello, Bubble. Okay, everything is perfect. All right, let's go on quickly then. Let's just hope that you could for the video after we have the recording. Just permit me also. Yeah. Yeah. There. Can you still hear me? Okay, the camera is good. Okay. All right, let us begin by praising God and ask Him to send His blessings upon righteous men and women who've lived, upon His messengers like Moses, Jacob, Isaac, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, on whom be peace, all of them. And to you, the suffering people of Southern Cameroon, to our martyred, to our jailed, incarcerated, to our refugees, to the exiled, to our sick parents, and to those who've gone before us. May God send His blessings upon them, and His mercy also, and grant them paradise. We continue to pray to God to grant healing to His world, to grant healing to this creation of His, to cleanse us of this very dangerous pandemic of coronavirus 19. Amen. Yeah, I wouldn't be here today except for the fact that a few of you, though I can see even the debate on the post I made, some of you think we should and something we should not address certain allegations. But a few people whom I respect have thought I should, and I thought about it, and I think they're right. They're right. You know, a lot of us have come into contact with one another because of a common cause, which is that of liberating ourselves and our people from bondage. Without which, trust me, our paths in life that God has carved are different. We have different paths, different theology, different cosmology, different home training, different education. Most of us would have hardly even come by one another's roads. But we are here. So much such that in a case where there is the desperation of the fury, you have goat, lions, sheep, tigers, all eating on the same field. It is the kind of continuum that one would see here, that we've been merged by a cause, and we have the mistaken position to think we are destined to be the same, to be equal, and to be relevant at the same point. It's a shame that we cannot see to that level. I want to thank God for being here now. It is not easy, trust me. And one day, I will tell you my story. It is simply not relevant now, and it is simply not strategic now. One day, I will tell you my story. I would not even tell you. People who know the story would tell you best, and they will narrate it. In this life or the other life, in my presence or in my absence, there are people who know my story, who are eyewitnesses, and of course ear witnesses, and third-party witnesses who can say exactly what is going on and what I've been through. This is not what one should be doing now. We have a lot of work to do, and by the way, there is good news. Your efforts are not going in the drain. There is good news diplomatically, as I said. Keep hoping and pushing for it. You're working hard, and your hard work is being rewarded by God. But we have allegations. Listen to me, my dear brethren. I don't have anything, but I don't lack at the same time. I've never lacked. I thank God for that, because there are many people who do lack in this life. There are many people who didn't go to school, but I had the opportunity to be in a boarding school. There are many people who didn't go to university, but I had the opportunity to be not in a local university, in an international one. This is not a point of boast, but this is just to show that God has been faithful to some people, and that is his promise. He tests us with different things. Those people who didn't go to the kind of school you went to or I went to, it doesn't make them less human beings than you are. God is going to reward them and make them bigger and greater in some other ways. This is your own test. But this is to say that this thing called money has never been a big deal to me. I don't value money. I only consider it as a necessary tool, and I only take from the wealth of the world my legacy, what belongs to me. Beyond that, I don't want it. What I've said in the past, which is important that I repeat, most of us have entered this revolution emotionally, literally, and basically. Some of us, case study, myself, I didn't enter the revolution literally, neither did I enter the revolution or the liberation struggle emotionally. I entered with my heart. But what is my heart? My heart, you can call it my mind, my education, my experience. And all the education I have, my dear people, the foundation of my education is the Quran and the Bible. Is God's message. I follow this liberation struggle spiritually. This is why I will step my feet somewhere, and it will be very difficult for my next partner to do that. Because I calculated not just with my physical ability, but spiritually. This is how I approach it. So sometimes, if you don't know how to do things, ask those who know how to do it, and they will help you. And this is the message of the Quran. Fas'alu al-dhikri in kuntum la ta'lamun. Ask those who know about a matter if you do not know. Basically, if you want to build a chair, you don't go to a mechanic of a vehicle. You go to a carpenter. If you want to discuss chemistry, you don't go to a literature teacher. You go to a science teacher. So you cannot keep being on the same mistake and expecting different results, or being on the wrong road and expecting to arrive at the right destination. We have comrades who have self-appointed themselves as activists. And if you ask them the definition of an activist, please do that. They will not tell you until they refer to the dictionary before they can tell you. This is to tell you that they don't know what they're doing. Because if you knew what you're doing, by definition, who is an activist? By definition, an activist doesn't go with negative things. Activism, by definition, is representing the plight of a cause or a people. With what you see on social media vis-a-vis our liberation, is that activism? No, that is cowardice. There is a man, a comrade. I still call him a comrade because I think perhaps the intent would be good. His name is Asu Lucas, I guess. While I was in the United States, he was there telling lies that I've created an army in Canada. While I was in the United States. Why was he saying that? He could bet alongside the other one. Look, when we don't call names, don't misunderstand it for fear. Trust me, on a man-to-man feast, on a face-to-face intellectual articulation, debates, and interaction, these guys will not surface anywhere. When you don't call the names, it's simply because you don't want to make them relevant. Trust me, I have colleagues, theological colleagues, IT colleagues, management colleagues, who would always call me and say, you refer to that name, who is that person? Why do I want to give people popularity they don't deserve? I mean, there are many comrades here who I would like to have myself represented by them. There are many comrades here whom I would like to introduce to my other friends, and I'm sure they would like to do that to me. You don't need to do that with everyone. When you don't call names, basically, you don't need to make irrelevant material. When irrelevance is immaterial, let irrelevance be immaterial until irrelevance matures enough and becomes relevant, and then they can become material and significant perhaps. The other one there in Maryland, who has done nothing in the past years except insulting human beings, whom he called comrades. They were there telling lies that I'm in Canada. Why? Because at that time, nobody was allowed to travel. This is in April, when the lockdown was announced by the United States and Canada. People were not allowed to travel. God Almighty allowed Abdul Karim to travel. I traveled in an airplane that constituted 5 people, 3 medical doctors, 1 police officer, 1 nurse, and Abdul Karim. That's how I went to the United States. But why were they making that assertion? Because they thought by all means there is no way. Number 1, they didn't know if I had a US visa or not. Number 2, even if I did, how could I have moved into the United States? Nobody was allowed to, except not just essential travelers, but highly essential travelers. But God did it the way he did. He was there lying that I've created an army. Look at this, trying to implicate me. All of you know that my fight, my struggle is intellectual. My defense for my people and myself is intellectual. Beat me at that level and I will submit. My fight is not military. That is not my forte. But that's the lie. That's the first one. I ignored that one. But today, while I was in Douala, answering questions from Equinox, the same time, since nobody knew where I was, this guy was there telling another lie, that I'm in Nigeria with this man who called me and my parents dogs, that I'm in Nigeria with this man. I didn't go to Nigeria. I've not been to Nigeria. While he was making that noise, I was on TV. Before I came back home to Bamenda, Muslims are here asking me that, look, man, this guy is saying you collected 50 million francs from La République du Cameroon, but here you are in front of us, and he's saying that you're in Nigeria. What is this? Is this the struggle you brought us into? Is this what you want us to support you with? This lies and slander, even on people like you. But the truth is, this is 0.11% of Southern Cameroonians. Very immaterial and insignificant. So that is the truth, and it doesn't matter. But it matters to me and to you. Why? Because I'm here to tell you this, Southern Cameroonians. And this, I'm repeating the words of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Muhammad started prophethood, the pagans of Mecca, they found the challenge his message brought. What was his message? His message was that of Jesus and that of Moses. The message of Moses, the fundamental message of Moses, what was it? It is Shama Israelu Yahweh Ilachanyo Lach Yahweh Ichad. That is Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Jesus Christ was asked a similar question 1,750 years after Moses has disappeared from the scene. Jesus Christ was asked in the book of Mark chapter number 12 verse number 28, which is the most of all the commandments. His reply was, Shama Israelu Yahweh Ilachanyo Yahweh Ichad. That is Aramaic or Hebrew. The translation in English is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. 600 years after Jesus, a man came in Arabia called Muhammad with the same message, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but one God. The pagans of Mecca did not like that because they had 360 gods they were worshipping, and it was a source of finances for them. So before they started planning to kill him, they made an offer to him. What was the offer? They told him they will make him one of the biggest chiefs in the whole of Arabia. That's number 1. They will give him a lot of wealth, and they will get him all the women he wants in the world. They will make him comfortable. He will have slaves that will serve him. He gave a reply, and I'm giving Southern Cameroonians this reply. The book of Exodus chapter number 20 verse number 7 says, do not call the name of your God in vain. I am here telling you that I will never call God's name in vain. For a Muslim and a Christian, it is a highly discouraged practice for us to swear. But when it gets to the point when you have to swear to prove your dignity and to preserve your integrity, Muslims and Christians are allowed to do that. But we are advised in general not to go into that. Exodus chapter number 20 verse number 7. And don't forget, Jesus Christ in the book of Matthew 5:17, he told us he has not come to change the law, and not a tittle will by any wise pass from the law except it is being fulfilled. The reply of Prophet Muhammad, which he gave his uncle, which his uncle took back to the pagans, is what I'm giving you as an assurance. It goes thus: if the sun is kept on my right hand and the moon on my left hand, I would never stop fighting for the justice of the people of Southern Cameroons. Prophet Muhammad used it in this context. If the sun is placed on my right hand and the moon on my left, I will not stop the message of God, which is there is no God but one God. I've gone to this extent to challenge this man. Mr. Ashu Lucas, you're suffering from basic communication. I find you struggling with words, deficiency of vocabulary, which is not your fault. Why don't you focus on trying to get those words to use to begin with? If you continue with slander, especially with this name, Abdul Karim, your tongue is going to get tied. You will not be able to speak even your own dialect or pidgin English, broken English. Talk less of the queens if you continue. I go with the Quranic message again. Qul hatu burhanukum in kuntum sadiqin. Produce your proof if you are but truthful. Please, I don't need you to bring science rocket proof. The least proof you have. I hope you understand what evidences are. Not your silly, milky, weak assertions. The least proof you have. The least you have, as fine as an eye of a sun, is enough for us. Produce that proof. Don't bring hard ones. The slightest ones you have to the assertions you make. And you included the chairman of the Restoration Council. You guys don't have respect. I don't know what homes you guys grew up from. I don't know what kind of education you have. You live in Canada. It's a place I've been for about 3 months. The Canadians are polite. The Chinese living in Canada are polite. The Indians living in Canada are polite. The Caribbeans are polite. Where did you come from? Where did you guys germinate and you're harvesting these attitudes from? No respect. You're lying on a man who has left his job, could not make it directly. He had to quarantine in Ethiopia, go through Cotonou to go and give food to refugees you have no consent for, and you're telling lies about him. May God forgive you. Now, my overarching point here, my overarching contention here is with the leaders. The Dr. Sakus, the Sisikus, Dr. Cho in particular, and of course not forgetting the rest, Dr. Akwanga and so on. But Dr. Cho and Dr. Saku and Sisiku in particular, these people who go on attacking Southern Cameroonians are trying to defend your organizations. The burden, the responsibility is on you to tame them, to caution them, to admonish them. The havoc they are causing, many people like myself have withdrawn from public production, have been silent. Their heart and mind is still with the goal of the cause, but they are doing nothing because of these people you keep around you who keep hitting the drum for you. But think about the drum they're hitting. What will it profit any of you if La Republique abducts me some more or kills me? How would that take you to Boya? What would it profit you if La Republique harms any of us? How would that take you to Boya? How would that make you richer? How would that make you more intelligent than you are now? What is it going to increase you with? This is the question I need you to answer. Nothing. I see the desperation to be relevant. Dear Southern Cameroonians, most often in liberation causes like this, when negotiations have approached, you will see all of these things. All is trying to be relevant. When your people needed you, you were afraid and you were silent. When the people have braved the odds and the floor is level and negotiations seem to be approaching, you want to be at all cost relevant. You're free to do that. But you need not take people's names down the drain on your way to do that. So please, the leaders have to step up, caution their activists. You Southern Cameroonians who follow every and anyone, ask yourself how that is helping this liberation struggle. So 50 million francs. Mr. Asu Lucas, go again and ask, and you can join the clown in Maryland who talks a lot. Ask Abdul Karim Ali, put Ali in quotes, ask again. You have members in your AGOFC who knew me from secondary school and who know me till today. Ask them. I don't know, maybe 50 million is so much money for you. For La République to bribe me, they have to be able to bring the sun to my right hand and the moon to my left hand. 50 million, sir, is nothing to me. 100 million is nothing to me, Mr. Asu Lucas. I saw 50 million long ago. And to all of you Southern Cameroonians who think that money is anything, to me, a Muslim, money is really nothing. You get it today and it goes tomorrow. Money is nothing. You people are what I need, not money. And that is what we should take into this final phase of our liberation struggle. So with that, I hope this is enough. We don't need to go further than this. This is enough. And just caution again, Mr. Asu Lucas, focus on building your vocabulary. Focus on building your knowledge on other subjects. If you focus on my name, sir, you see this black spot here? It's not as a result of fight, it's prayer. If this blackhead goes on prayer and your name is mentioned, you won't be able to speak even your dialect. Focus on those. Learn more. If you've already done a lot of subjects, go back again, start studying the Old Testament. Go to the New Testament. It would help you. I can see we are short of ideas. So the only thing we do, where is this popular person? That is his name. A caption for the next live show. What the hell are you doing? And again, you're confusing Facebook following for support in the liberation struggle. I challenge you. Call a rally in Canada. Where you are, I don't know if you're in Kitchener or wherever, or in London or in Brampton, I don't know. But definitely you're not in Toronto Center. Call a rally. Let's see how many people show up. Just call for a protest. Let's see how many people show up behind you. That will tell you exactly what is going on for you on Facebook. And just dare that anywhere. Come to Ground Zero, please. Come down and call for a meeting with 10 people. Let's see who comes to you. This is not a way to boast, but I'm just trying to say, be content with where God has kept you. You can only be you. You cannot be another person. The hate, jealousy, and envy that I've seen in Southern Cameroonians make me wonder if you are not content with where you are. You are there in the diaspora and you're jealous of those on the ground. I don't get it. I don't get it. You're there where there are opportunities, there are jobs, good weather, stable electricity, everything is fine, you can work and get paid, and you're jealous of those who can barely breathe. What the hell is going on, man? So let's change to that. I don't know if there are a few questions, I'll take them, but I didn't intend to make this long. Thank you. All right. If there are any questions, I'll take a few. And then I'll go. Is it true that you were arrested? Oh, Martin, I heard that. No, by talking here, you would know that that is not true. This is what the likes of ASU would want, and the other one lying, producing the fake Chronicles paper. The real Chronicles paper in La République du Cameroon actually reported something else. My word against that of Cardinal Toumi. This is what comrades wish for other comrades, and you can begin to ask yourself, are they really your comrades? But I think they are. Just the lack of guidance, perhaps, is what is lacking. No, this is what they want, but for now, God has protected me. I still solicit your prayer, and thank you for the love and care and for the prayer. And no one has arrested me. I've not done anything new from what I've been doing, which is speaking truth to power and standing for justice for the people of Southern Cameroon. That's what I've done. I've not done anything. All of these things they are doing, you see, look at the contradiction. I'm building an army. Secondly, I'm in Nigeria with Okalabi. Look at the madness. You know, truth is defined by consistency. When you see the immaterial nature of people flip-flop with their own words, then you can know something is wrong. Something is wrong. Someone is asking, so you're in ground zero now? Yes, sir, I am on ground zero. Been here for 2 weeks. No, I've not been arrested, and pray that I'm not. May God protect us all. Let me see what the Muslim is writing. Jazakallah khairan, Abdul Karim. Tabarakallah. Tabarakallah, akhi. MashaAllah. Okay. Please tell us how to go within prayers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and this is the point, you know. Please, dear Christians, there is a book in the Bible called the Book of Psalm. In there you find a lot of prayer. And what are prayers basically? You realize that the prophets supplicated to God. You need to learn how they prayed. Look, for example, the case of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. He prayed many times in the Bible. Look at how he uses his words. But for us Muslims, trust me, we have a wealth of supplications and manners of prayers which are used. But the first prayer is to empty your heart. Stay clean. Do not travel with hate and envy. Listen to me. If you travel heavy, you would delay your arrival. But if you want to travel far and well, travel light. Empty yourself of hate. You know, the guy was struggling to bring some stuff in Matthew 6, trying to bring some stuff to the altar. In other words, he's going to present some gift to God. Jesus Christ told him, don't do that. It is not necessary. You have issues with brothers at home. Go back, fix those issues, settle scores down there, and then you can bring that thing to the altar. Because that one is the prerequisite of the latter. So don't do that. Why don't you go and settle the problems with your brother, and then you can offer God whatever you have? So essentially, we need to be sincere. We need to be clean inside. Recognize that you depend on nothing but God. But most essentially, travel light. Forgive, but don't forget. Yeah, I have to say this. When you forget evil, the evildoer may repeat it. But always try to forgive. This is why when they asked Jesus, how many times would you forgive? They didn't ask him, how many times would you forget? So he said you can forgive 70 times 7, right? Yeah. Okay, any other one? Okay. Please, I will just take only relevant questions. So I will see some and ignore, and please don't be offended. What I would like to know is what you really find useful in the Swiss dialogue. Well, I think this Swiss thing, we have talked about it. Please, is it that some of us just block our ears and minds, or is it that we've not been able to clarify what is going on in Switzerland? Someone is asking me what I really find useful in the Swiss dialogue. Well, there's no dialogue in Switzerland. There's a negotiation process ongoing. I'm asking, what would you find useful in any other country mediating to settle the problem between us and La République? The only useful thing to me is that a country has recognized me as a separate entity from La République du Cameroon. They are saying it's a negotiation between La République and they call it separatists. By the way, we are not separatists. We are not separatists. We are not secessionists. It is La République who separated from the fake union. It is La République who seceded. We are restorationists. But that is the essence. That negotiation is between these two entities. Are you not happy with that? Secondly, How do you propose to stop this war? Would you want it to be settled in Yaoundé or internationally? And if that is the case, why won't you support the only process that is available, proposed by a strong country like Switzerland, supported and backed by the United States, Canada, UK, UN, and what do we want? What do we really want? And if you don't want that, what is the alternative? This is just the case. So please, don't listen about the gospel from the haters of Jesus. If you want to know about the gospel, read the New Testament and you will know the real Jesus. You don't want to listen to Jesus from the Jews because they don't even believe and agree with that Jesus. If you want to know about the cease process, get into ACT. ACT is not a group. It's a coalition of Southern Cameroonians. How can you be wanting to get information and that is the primary source material, but you choose to get it from a third party? How does that make sense? How do you want to know Jesus from strangers when you have the Gospels, the earliest surviving recordings we have about the life of Jesus Christ are the 4 Gospels? You don't read it and you want to seek knowledge from elsewhere. ACT is there. If you want to know anything about the process, the right place to go is to go to ACT. Yeah. What is your opinion on the Norwegian newspaper calling for deportation of Dr. Cho Ayaba? Oh no, that Norway should know that we know their history as Europeans. We know their history as the West. And they cannot dare to deport a man like Dr. Cho for standing strong for his people. Instead, they should focus on the dictator, which is La République, the oppressor, the colonizer. I mean, the West is a liberal country, they claim. Their foundational constitution is built by John Locke's proposition of liberalism. And in that case, Dr. Cho has the right to speak from Norway and to defend himself and his people by all means possible. He's not done anything to deserve that. And by the way, the newspaper is not the government, but the government should know that really and truly, they cannot engage with such malicious actions. Okay? I cannot see myself anymore, so it's about time I go. Let me leave you now. May God bless you. Keep strong. Keep praying for us here on the ground. Do your best. Stop negative surrogacy. Watch relevant things. A human being basically is 2 things. You are what you read and what you eat. What you read means the people you talk to, the things you view, the knowledge you amass, and what you eat, of course, defines your structure and things like that. So a human being, the physical is what they eat, and then the intellectual is what they read. Note that. Let's stay together as one. We are almost there. Let's not prolong this fight. Our people are suffering. Continually assist those in the jail, in the refugee camps, IDPs, and of course the greater cause ahead. How soon is the negotiations? As soon as we stop all the infighting, all the insults, and support the process, even despite that, the negotiations will come even before you know it. May God bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa akhru dawana. And alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.